So you have our State Department violating our Constitution openly, engaging in the destruction of religious freedom in a foreign country, doing things absolutely illegal under our Constitution, all in the
like
name,
establishing religion.
Yes, all in the name of anti-Putin activities. And because I am so very strongly against the present Russian administration, I insisted on traveling to Kyiv with a bunch of my lawyers to interview. We were privileged to meet with the Holy Synod, to meet with senior members of the church, interview priests, interview lawyers, so I could fully accept the mandate to fight for a church that was being driven out of existence. This is something that's not supposed to happen in the 21st century. And as a Jew, who feels strongly about freedoms for my Christian brothers and sisters, as somebody who feels that religious freedom is the foundation of all our freedoms.
Yes.
And I believe that to the center of my being. I could not believe that the American government, a government for which I signed up for the draft on my birthday when I was 18, when we were still in Vietnam, this government could be funding the destruction of this church. So we've studied it. We've met with people who were at high levels of the U.S. government who confirmed for me that this was a U.S. government operation. And we have done everything we can. And we have walked into a wall of Ukrainian propaganda inside Washington. I want to be very clear. I just finished speaking at a religious freedom conference. It was a religious freedom conference that in many ways was managed by the Ukrainian government. It was Ukraine
in Washington,
D.C. My team was barely afforded an allowance to go in. We were not allowed in a year ago. This time we were allowed in. They wouldn't take our money.
You're defending a church against a dictator, but you're not allowed to appear at a religious freedom conference.
That's correct.
Okay.
And this time, when I went to the religious freedom conference, I was only allowed, they stacked the panel I was on with a priest from the other church, and they gave me basically 5 minutes to present my views, which were that, in fact, this other church, which, by the way, has stolen 1,500 of our churches, engaged in mobilizing—
Stolen the buildings?
The buildings. Yes.
Stolen them?
Stolen them, outright stolen them. And worse, beaten our priests, beaten our parishioners. And I have this all on video. If you go to SaveTheUOC.com, you will see the videos of our parishioners being beaten. These are the elderly parents of people at the front fighting for the liberation and protection of Ukraine, being beaten very often by SBU, that's their secret police, wearing death masks with Nazi insignias on their arm. And let me be very clear to you that you will never hear elsewhere. There is a massive right-wing movement in Ukraine that has tremendous influence. Our newspapers were warning of this in the late teens. And once the war started, we never heard anything else. It's as if all these neo-Nazis disappeared. They haven't disappeared. They're part of the Ukrainian government. But you're never allowed to say that, because if you say anything like that, you are told that you are a Putinist. And Kasparov has summed it up. He's basically said, if you criticize Zelensky in any way, you're a Putinist. So the fact that he's destroyed civil society, he's destroyed a free media, he jails or sanctions or charges with treason his opponents, we're supposed to ignore all of that, because if we mention it, or if I stand on a soapbox to scream that he's jailing and torturing priests, we are somehow disentitled to speak. We have this crazy adopted authoritarianism now where we as a country of institutions have made a king out of Zelensky.